From Storm Team 5, your weather first.
Good evening, I'm Tom Mahoney, live at Storm Team 5, beginning with our Local 5 live radar. Not a drop of rain from north to south and east to west. Cooler temperatures though, but it was a gorgeous evening. Now in the 40s or the lower part of the 50s, we will let you know how low we will go by morning. Our planner suggests through the 40s down to 42 and then 68 tomorrow. More weather coming up. That's your weather first from Storm Team 5.
Now on Local 5, a night honoring local heroes.
What happened in this gas station last year is resulting in a major award for a citizen who took action for a complete stranger.
The Salcom Marathon is just days away. What runners need to know before the big race.
And a beer boom in northeast Wisconsin.
Last year we maxed out at 1,200 barrels. With the new equipment, we should be able to do almost 4,000 barrels.
Details on 3 new projects to keep beer glasses full.
From WFRV TV, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore, this is Local 5 News at 10 in HD.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, the city of Appleton recognized a dozen police officers who have gone above and beyond the call of duty.
And there were also some citizens who were awarded for their heroic efforts, and that includes a Neenah woman who came to the aid of a gas station clerk who was raped. The incident happened last year at a Quick Trip gas station on Calumet Street in Appleton. The suspect was armed with a gun, eventually arrested by police. Now, those awards were part of Police Week events, and Local 5's Brett Lemoyne spoke with this hero and others about what prompted them to help others in need.
It's a night of honors for some of Appleton's finest, like Sergeant Polly Olson, the lead investigator of several sexual assault and child abuse cases.
I've been doing sensitive crime investigations for approximately the last 6-7 years. This past year was especially trying. There was a number of larger cases that required quite a bit of investigation.
Olson's being recognized as Officer of the Year.
We choose to go into this profession and do what we do for a living, but when you can be recognized, it's always a great honor.
But there are some heroes who don't carry a badge, including Luann Steffens. Last May, she helped a gas station attendant here in Appleton who was held at gunpoint and raped. Steffens saw the victim frantically running down the street. It caught her attention and she pulled over.
She was boom right at my door, yelling for me to let her in the door. And I had to take a couple minutes because it was scary. It was 3:30 in the morning.
And the suspect, Scott Schumacher, had a gun. Both women were unsure of his location at that point.
Tried to help her, keep her calm because she was, it was terrible.
Schumacher later pleaded guilty to the incident. In January, he was sentenced to 35 years in prison.
Had she kept driving by, can you imagine how traumatic it would be for that victim to see cars drive by?
Police Chief Pete Heline says Steffens likely saved the woman's life. He presented her with the department's Civilian Medal of Gallantry.
I would hope somebody would do that for me if that had ever happened to me.
Brett Lemoyne, Local 5 News HD, Appleton.
Now, we reached out to representatives of Quick Trip for comment on Steffens' heroic efforts. They tell us it's company policy not to comment on legal matters. Officers Craig Rahm and Ryan Gillette are also being thanked for their efforts. Tomorrow, in another ceremony, they'll receive the Life-Saving Award. In February, the officers were patrolling near Richmond and Northland in Appleton when they smelled smoke. They followed the trail to a home on Wyland. It was on fire. They alerted the elderly woman inside who was asleep and got her to safety.
A new jobs report is creating a political war of words. It shows jobs were created in Wisconsin over the last year under Governor Walker's leadership, not lost. The Department of Workforce Development reports Wisconsin added more than 23,000 jobs from December of 2010 to December of 2011. However, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics show the state's losing about 34,000 jobs.
The numbers we forwarded to the federal government show a shift of more than 57,000 more jobs than originally thought, a net gain of jobs in 2011, and more than 33,000 jobs created since I've taken office.
The DWD numbers have yet to be reviewed by the federal government and won't be released until late June.
Now, it's the timing of these job numbers that has Governor Walker's critics fired up. Democrat Tom Barrett says today's new job numbers prove the governor will say anything to get reelected.
What the governor's trying to do is change the subject, because the Bureau of Labor Statistic numbers have been used literally for decades. And when those numbers were good numbers, he was more than willing to use them.
The latest Marquette Law School poll shows Governor Walker has a 6% lead over Tom Barrett among likely voters. Last month, Walker only led by 1 percentage point. In the lieutenant governor's race, Rebecca Clayfish holds a 47 to 41% lead over firefighter Malin Mitchell.
The Salcom Green Bay Marathon is just days away. The full marathon will be held Sunday morning. Racers will begin at 7 a.m. on Lombardi Avenue, directly in front of Lambeau Field, the atrium side. 26.2 miles later, runners will have looped around and will finish in the Lambeau Field parking lot. But warm weather is in the forecast, and there are some changes to this year's course.
And Local 5's Heather Sawatsky tells us what runners need to know before hitting the road.
Due to the construction at Lambeau, this year's Salcom Marathon will not include a lap around the field. And that means race organizers had to tack on a half mile to the middle of the course.
This year, the runners are going to be traveling farther west than they've ever been before. So they're actually going to be going out across Packerland and into the neighborhoods out by Lombardi Middle School.
And with temperatures expected to be in the 80s on race day, race officials are asking nearby residents to be ready with their water hoses.
Tom Cron is the medical coordinator for the race.
Our number one priority is runner safety, so that's what we work on.
He says medical staff will be ready to help runners beat the heat. There will be even more water stations than last year, 10 on the half marathon course and 22 on the full.
Each year we kind of account for 2 to 3 cups of fluids at each water station per runner, and this year we're accounting for 4 to 5 per runner.
Cron recommends runners dress in light-colored clothing, stay hydrated, and wear sunscreen. Also, he says it might not be the day to try and beat your best time.
It's important not to be a hero, okay? Take care of your health, and if you might not reach that personal best, and that's okay, but the goal is to finish.
We should see a lot of first-time half marathoners and marathoners reach that finish line for the very first time, and that's always exciting.
Heather Sawatsky, Local 5 News HD, Green Bay.
Now, roads along the course are going to be shut down for the first 12 miles of the race, but traffic should be running smoothly in those areas by late morning. Local 5, once again, a proud sponsor of the marathon.
Work starts Monday on Green Bay's Leo Frigo Bridge. Crews are resurfacing between Irwin and Military Avenues. The bridge will go from 2 lanes north and south to 1 lane each way. The $17 million project runs through July of next year. Drivers are being urged to find alternate routes to avoid traffic delays.
Highway 41 may soon become an interstate between Green Bay and Milwaukee. The DOT held its first of 6 public information meetings tonight in Green Bay. Project leaders say besides some wider shoulders and higher bridges, the only noticeable changes would be those blue and red interstate shields along the road. They also say the conversion would give national recognition and an economic boost to the towns along the corridor.
Some site selectors and large corporations will only locate along an interstate. And so when they're looking at it from the national level of growing their business, now the Fox Valley area would become more attractive to them.
They're hoping to complete the project by 2014. The next DOT meeting is tomorrow night, 5 o'clock at Fox Valley Tech. Well, a 2010 Packers Super Bowl ring could be yours.
But it will come at a price. Details ahead. Plus a boom in beer locally to meet growing demand. We'll take you to 2 thriving brewers and 1 in the works.
It could be a chilly night throughout northeast Wisconsin. We'll check in and let you know how low the lows will go. In the eastern UP, there's a frost advisory. There could be some rain on the way. All of the details coming up next.
And a healing brewer makes a stop at Fox City Stadium. Details coming up in sports.
You're watching Local 5 News with Tom Zalaski and Aaron Davison.